Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather for the coming week across the British Isles. It's weekend forecast as usual on a Saturday. Not a great deal happening this week. High pressure going to remain very dominant. There will be some rain coming through at times, particularly I think on Monday. And then northern areas always at risk of some rain later on in the week. But generally anticyclonic influences going on and not a great deal happening. As opposed to what's going on in America, where, as I've been talking about in the videos throughout the past few days, exceptionally cold, record-breaking cold weather is digging in across many parts of the states through the course of this week. Have a look at that in a moment. Before I get on with that, let's just say about the ads. This links to articles on most of the pages at gasoffice.com. If you have browse through the widget, you'll be able to see if there's any articles that you're interested in. If there is, just click through. You'll be able to go off and read those articles. Thanks so much for doing that. So I know some of you want cold weather and like cold weather, so I'll show you what it looks like when it does get very cold in America. And here we are. I've got a ridge of high pressure through the central states going up in towards Canada. On the eastern side of that high pressure, we've got a trough, which is part of the polar vortex across the northeast of America, and that's pulling down. It's exceptionally cold northerly wind. That really is bringing extreme cold with it. You see from the upper air temperatures that the minus 20 isotherm is digging through into many northeastern parts of the states, going below that in some places to minus 25, and on the Canadian border we're down to minus 30. That's the sort of air that you have right over the very top of the North Pole. These are upper air temperatures, of course, but down on the surface it's going to be many degrees below freezing throughout the coming week in the north and east of the state. Some places will be around freezing in terms of Fahrenheit, never mind in Celsius. And that just goes on and gets more severe, actually, as we go through the coming week. So this is how the upper air temperatures are looking on Thursday. And look at that, the pink area, which is the extreme cold air, has actually expanded even further by the time we get through to Thursday. So there we are on Saturday today. Look how much colder it is as we go through towards the middle part of the coming week. I've never seen anything as cold as that, actually, for America, and quite seriously, that is extreme sort of weather. And well, don't really want to talk about fatalities, but I'm sure that is cold enough to be producing fatalities. So when we're sort of wishing for cold weather here, we do have to keep it on board that it can get to a level of extreme cold. Doesn't happen here very often at all, but it can get to a level of extreme cold where it's sort of a life-threatening type situation. And that what we're looking at there by the middle of the week across many northern eastern parts of America is sort of life-threatening type conditions. If you're out in that for any length of time without the right clothing, you would certainly have your life at risk in that sort of extreme cold. Notice how far south that cold is digging, with a minus 5 isotherm getting very, very close even to Florida there. That is quite incredible. So, big weather story coming up for America over the course of the coming week. I'm sure we'll be hearing about it on the news and seeing it in the papers. But for us, the weather is going to be very quiet really through the coming week. So let's get on with the weekend forecast. This is the radar picture today from theweatheroutlook.com. And last night's rain, yesterday's rain, last night's rain is sort of dying away. We've still got a few heavier bursts down through the channel and some showery bits and pieces left across England and Wales. But already there's a good deal of dry weather beginning to come through. Here's today's synoptic pressure chart. Low pressure is clearing away to the south. And this area of high pressure is trying to build over Scandinavia. That wants to turn the winds into the east, but it's not going to be able to, because all of that cold coming out of America is going to sort of enhance the jet stream. So by the start of next week, we're going to be having big areas of low pressure barreling into that high over Scandinavia, which will force it back into Russia. And overall, the flow is going to stay westerly, albeit with high pressure mainly in control, particularly to the south of the country. So for the rest of today, we're going to keep a lot of cloud through the British Isles. There'll be bits and pieces of showery rain coming through. A lot of that will be dying away, as we've already seen. It is dying away. Heaviest of the showers down in the far south. Best of any sunshine, it will be in the north and the northwest, I think, today, but all places generally having a fair amount of cloud. Temperatures about average, really, at around 3 or 4 to, say, 7 or 8 degrees. Overnight, look how close we are to getting into that easterly wind with this high pressure over Scandinavia. But it's not going to pull it off, but it does mean that for tonight, most places will be dry. Again, quite a lot of cloud around, but some clearer breaks coming through, and a few dense fog patches could form as well. Temperatures could get as low as freezing under clearer breaks. There could be a frost, a little bit of ice in places, but of course, under the cloud, temperatures will hold up above freezing. As we go through into Sunday, the high pressure over Scandinavia is up to 1,040 millibars, so that's really very strong area of high pressure D. It's very, very close to switching the winds into the east, but notice how all this low pressure is forming around Greenland and Iceland, barreling into that high pressure, stopping it, getting the winds into the east. So eventually it's going to turn wet and windy across Northern Ireland and the far west of Scotland through the course of Sunday. That'll be towards the evening. Most places, though, will be dry on Sunday with sunny spells and variable amounts of cloud coming through. Temperatures, again, around 7 or 8 degrees at best. Maybe a degree or so upon today actually may push 9 degrees somewhere across the country. And then any thoughts of the Scandinavian high is gone by the time you get through to Monday. That's collapsing off in towards eastern parts of Europe and western Russia as a weather front comes in off the Atlantic. Now it's coming into that high pressure. It will be fairly slow moving. You're going to bring in a brand of quite heavy rain across the country on Monday. I don't think it'll arrive into the east and southeast until probably after dark actually on Monday evening. But elsewhere we'll have a band of slow moving, erratically moving rain coming across the country from west to east. That could turn to snow over the high ground of the Pennines and the Scottish mountains. And then following behind we'll have sunshine and showers to the west. And those showers could turn a little bit wintry up across the northern and western parts of Scotland. Temperatures in the north around 2, 3, 4 degrees. In the south, around 6, 7 or 8 degrees, about average for the time of year. And then moving through into Tuesday, the high pressure switching back in off the Atlantic. The flow is going into the west or the southwest. So we're going to start Tuesday on quite a cold note. There may still be some wintry showers left across northern Scotland, maybe some rain showers in the southeast of England. First thing on Tuesday morning, most will go very quickly. Then a lot of dry and fine weather during the course of Tuesday. But later on, as this southwesterly wind picks up the Scotland and Northern Ireland, it'll drag in a fair amount of cloud and some showery bits and pieces of rain in the north and west as well. But many places will stay dry on Tuesday. Temperatures after a chilly start getting up to around 7 or 8 degrees. As we get into Wednesday, we're into a north-south split. High pressure will be across the south with low pressure to the northwest. So Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of northern England will be at risk of some cloud and outbreaks of rain. Always more likely to the west of high ground, with east of high ground tending to stay mostly dry. For the bulk of England and Wales, so it will be a dry day, probably starting off with a frost. But again, very good sunny spells coming through. It's going to be a mild day, actually, on Wednesday. Turning milder in the north, we could be up to 10, 11 or 12 degrees parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland. That's very mild, up into the low to mid-50s Fahrenheit. In the south, of course, we're under the high pressure conditions, so it won't be as mild there, but even so, temperatures could get to around 8 or 9 degrees, not too bad at all. As we get through into Thursday, again, it's a north-south split, really, with high pressure persisting close to the south, low pressure up to the north. So the weather could get a little bit more active for Scotland and Northern Ireland on Thursday. Actually, it could produce some quite heavy rain in the north on Thursday, but for England and Wales, again, mostly dry. Maybe turn a little bit cold as well. It might start to put in some slightly colder air off the continent into the south. So we could start off with a fairly sharp frost on Thursday morning, and temperatures by day, despite fairly good sunshine still, may only get up to around 6 or 7 degrees. But in the north, still very mild, up to 10 or 11 degrees. And then we end the week with the weather front coming down across the country on Friday. That'll be a very, very weak system, producing no more than a band of cloud, really, by the time it gets through into south and southeast. The high pressure's building in from behind again, so after that front's gone through, it basically turns dry with good sunny spells. Temperatures around 7 or 8 degrees cooler in the north. And then finally, as we go through to next weekend, the high pressure is still dominating, keeping it mostly dry and fine, but there will be a weather front producing some cloud and rain, perhaps for Scotland and Northern Ireland, particularly by the time we get through to Sunday. But even into next weekend, lots and lots of dry weather. If I have a look at the charts from the Weather Outlook, and here is the situation today with the showery rain gradually sort of dying away across the country and plenty of dry weather coming through. Lots of dry weather on Sunday as well, although later on it could turn wet and windy in the very, very far northwest. There's that band of rain coming across the country slowly and erratically through the course of Monday. Don't think it'll arrive into the extreme southeast until probably after dark. Could be some sleet or snow with that over Pennines and the Scottish Mountains. Lots of dry and fine weather on Thursday, but the north will always be a little bit more unsettled, turning cloudy and damp in the far northwest. And then it's really Scotland and Northern Ireland getting the rain through into Wednesday, with England and Wales mostly dry. Temperatures will be becoming really quite mild by midweek. Rain in the north again on Thursday, elsewhere mostly dry, and then that band of cloud and rain, I think it'll be no more than a band of cloud actually, moves southwards on Friday, with dry and fine conditions following on behind. So it's all happening in America. They're in for a severe freeze, but for us the weather remains relatively benign. Will be some rain coming through, particularly on Monday, and in the north there will be some rain at times through the middle part of the week as well, but generally lots and lots of dry weather and temperatures around average. In fact, by midweek for a time it could get really quite mild indeed. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.